These moths will make perfect sense when I'm done talking.
It's like a movie. It's a B-movie show.
So, I just got back from Return to Silent Hill. I'm torn. I can't tell if this movie was bad or secretly the most brilliant film I've ever seen. And I say that as someone who's played both the original and remake of Silent Hill 2, and I went in knowing this was actually just a retelling of the original. And I'm stretching the word retelling because it's obvious Gans has not learned a fucking thing since Revelations. I say learned a thing, saying that this is just the other two movies with a new filter. Where do I start? Like, I guess I should start with what I said earlier. Is this secretly brilliant or just terrible? Well, for start, he does get the fact that this is a story about James, thank God, but unfortunately he's still stuck on that fucking cult. He's still stuck with the cult. Like, from Silent Hill 1 and 5, which was his fault as well, like, he's stuck with them. Like, he's actually... Okay, so, Mary has not been dead for 3 years in this movie. She's been dead for months. And James is now a violent alcoholic. Violent as in he beats up people when he's drunk. He knocks over someone's drinks and some bouncers try to get rid of him at the beginning of the movie. And he's just like, come on, come on. And he's not just a normal, like, guy in this movie. He's not just, like, an office worker or just anyone. He's an artist, a tortured artist now. And, oh, it comes into play later in the movie, actually. And in the dumbest of fucking ways. Like, in the game, you'd see how he influences Silent Hill. But in the movie, it influences Silent Hill even worse. But anyway, he gets a letter in his apartment, and he only finds it because he was trying to drink from a bottle of vodka, finds it empty, and just, like, yonks it across the floor. It doesn't break, because it has to roll and hit a letter that he didn't see before. It was underneath a carpet, so I don't know how he noticed it hit the bottle. There was no sound made. And so I'm really wondering how he even heard it. Because here's another funny thing. There was like 3 people, including me, in the theater. So I could hear the movie the entire time. So there was no way he would have heard it. So I don't know how he heard it. I don't. So something else interesting throughout the movie is we get to cut back and forth between James and Mary's past and James and the present. And here's the thing. If you didn't have the cult aspects, this would have been a very good idea. We could have seen, like, what happened between James and Mary's relationship that led to Mary's death. But because we have the cult now, you know, Gans basically says, oh, because of the cult, this led to Mary's disease, and this led to Mary's death. And I'm like, did you play the fucking game, Chris? Like, here's the thing. I think Christopher Gans wants to be other directors. He wants to be, like, the M. Night Shyamalan, or he wants to be Christopher Nolan, or someone else. Because it's obvious he doesn't want to be the guy who directs a Silent Hill movie at this fucking point. Because guess what else is back from his old movies? It's the original Otherworld from the first 2 fucking films. That's back instead of the Otherworld from Silent Hill 2. Because if you've played Silent Hills 1 and 3, you played Silent Hill 2, you played Silent Hill 4, and you played Silent Hill 0 Origins, essentially, and you played Downpour as well. And you also played Silent Hill F, essentially. I forgot to mention F here. You know, each Silent Hill has their own unique otherworld. Silent Hill 1 and 3, they have more of an industrial setting. They look like an industrial factory, a nightmare factory, if you will. You have Silent Hill 2, where everything feels underwater. It's soggy, it's moist, it's drowned. Silent Hill 4, everything is, like, nightmarish, almost like a child designed it. Silent Hill 0, everything looks scary. Everything looks scary at all. Like, I don't know what the actual theme is. Some areas look underwater, some areas look dark and drab, but it's the PSP, so I can't really see well in there. But you do get some of the Nightmare Factory looks in there. With Downpour, it's wet, it's disgusting, it's like a shower, but you also get the cult aspect from the movie as well. With F, you get that weird case of all the flowers and everything. You get the flowers, you get God, it's been like a month or two since I played the game. You get the flowers, you get the beautiful scenery. You get that weird case of like everything is beautiful, but you can tell there's something dark underneath here, something you shouldn't really know about. And it all feels like it's like fighting against each other. Here, no, you just get the weird, like the weird burnt, like ashes nightmare. Like everything's metal, everything's rotting, everything's violently bloody. Weird world. You get that type of nightmare world from the first two films, which doesn't make any damn sense. Also, we're back at the Centralia thing, which has been confirmed is not Silent Hill, basing Silent Hill. That was not what Silent Hill was based on. It's just supposed to be like a resort town that was very, very foggy in the original. And that's what they continued with. It was fog. It wasn't like smoke or anything. That was a weird thing. Like, okay, we now know Silent Hill could be anywhere thanks to the short message and F, but here he wanted to keep going with Centralia. And now apparently rain came and now everything's wet sometimes. But if you actually look at rain hitting ash, it's honestly not smog, not smoke, it's smog. It'll honestly make a lot more like I don't know if it is, honestly. I'm not what you would consider a scientist. So you can't really trust me on that. So don't quote me, I'm not a scientist. But if you take a lot of this in, you have to ask the question of what else did he get wrong that he brought to this? Well, first off, let's get back to James. James is in therapy, and his therapist actually has a role in this movie. It's she's not in the movie a lot, I'll say that much, but she does play an important part in the end of the film. Somehow, did lead me to almost saying "fuck you" to the movie at the screen. I almost threw my popcorn bucket at the movie because it would have actually been a great twist with the movie if they just ended it there. I'm not gonna spoil what happened. I'm not gonna spoil what happened. I'm not gonna spoil the actual end part of the film because here's the thing. I feel like they could actually. I feel like people should watch this. Yes, I know rewarding failure is a bad idea, but at the same time, I don't know if this movie, like I said earlier, I don't know if this movie is truly terrible, but I don't know if it is brutally brilliant at the same time. Because despite how they showed the characters in this film, I don't know if this movie actually is a truly brilliant take on alternative reality in terms of the Silent Hill series because of how the ending is presented. See, some characters are in the game and not presented well, but they are also presented well in terms of context. So let me explain Mary again. Mary is actually a child of the Silent Hill cult leader, Father Crane, from the original and she is actually split into three in this film. I'm not going to explain who the three are. You'll get it when you see it. However, she has also been controlled by the cult the entire time. This actually plays into later in the film. Another thing that happens is you meet Laura. She's not like she was in the original game as well. You also meet Angela, who is kind of like she was in the original game, but also not. She does still have the horrible the thing that happened to her in the game because I have to tiptoe around that because of YouTube's bullshit, which is always a fun thing to do, isn't it, folks? You always have to tiptoe around the YouTube bullshit. You have Eddie, who's only in the apartment, so his character was useless. Though in this one, somehow they improved him by not making him a murdering bastard somehow. I don't know how that's an improvement or I don't know if that's an improvement or a downgrade, but I'm just happy that Eddie wasn't brutally killing people and the only thing he did was call us an asshole. So, yay, I guess. James is not got a firearm in this film, but he did get to use the radio. So, grats to you, James. You're the first Silent Hill protagonist in these movies to be smart, which is kind of weird when I think about it more and more. Um, Another thing that I find interesting, and I talked about it being secretly brutally brilliant, is the back and forth, because we get to see James and Mary's relationship as it goes on, but we get to see James finding out more about the cult. And here's the thing I hate, but I love at the same time. I like how James realizes there's something wrong, and how the cult is what's causing problems for Mary. And at the end, we finally realize what happened. Mary and James, well, that's what leads to an incident later in the film, which I can't talk about again because it's a spoiler. So, here's what we'll do. We are at 10 minutes into this actual review. So, at 11 minutes, I will talk about spoilers in the video. And we'll go to people Mary's around with. He finds out that Mary is actually been part of a cult since she was a child. The more she's been with this cult, the more they've been feeding her a drug, which is probably White Claudia, the drug that's been used to control people's minds in Silent Hill. So the drug has been fed to her whole life. It's basically been causing like organ damage, blood damage, bone damage, lots of horrible damage to her body. By doing this, it's ultimately what led to her and James's relationship ultimately crashing. He wants her to leave with him, and he's drunk by this point. He is just soused. He is essentially unable to actually function. But he is functional enough to drive away somehow. I'm guessing since Gans comes from a country where you can drink at a younger age, I'm guessing you have like a very high tolerance for anything with alcohol in it. So maybe his idea of drinking an entire bottle of wine or vodka, like you just get a slight buzz and you can drive a car. James has a Dodge in this movie, by the way. And so he leaves. Mary goes to the hospital and finds out she's basically been poisoned her entire life, and she is dying now. She's dying horribly. And ultimately, this leads to James coming back like weeks later. She is essentially dying. And as she is dying, she is basically begging James to put me out of my misery. Die. She wants to die, essentially. And so he gives her her dying wish. And that is what led to James essentially becoming a true alcoholic in this movie. He is broken down. He cannot accept the fact that she is dead. So unlike the first film, like the game, I'm sorry. I'm confusing my stuff now. Unlike the game where you have the knowledge that Mary is dead and this could actually just be something else. In this one, it could be assumed she's alive and under the cult's control up to a certain point of the movie. But in this one, by the end of the film, you find out that not only is Mary dead, but the cult has essentially killed her, and James Mercy killed her. And no, I will not basically censor my words here. And essentially, James's Mercy killed her, and he has to let her go. And now you can find out what the moths mean. So throughout the film, there's just moths in a lot of places. There's moths in the apartment they shared, which is at the apartments from Silent Hill 2. There's moths in the hospital. There's moths in Lakeview. And at the end of the film, when Mary's body ascends into the heavens, a bunch of fucking moths burst out of the Lakeview Hotel, and Mary's bed and her body turn into a giant fucking moth. And all I can say at the theater, and I swear to God, is release the ceremonial moths. And I'm just like, what the fuck am I watching? And that's not even the dumbest thing in this movie yet. Oh God, it got dumber. We didn't get one ending in the movie. We got like four. We got four fucking endings in the movie. Oh God. Oh god, we got 4 fucking endings. Oh god, the first ending was waking up in a hospital, which was around the Brookhaven Hospital section. The second one was the I don't need you anymore ending, where Maria just gets fucking shanked by Pyramid Head, who is James, like in the original, which is a reflection of James, but James fucking made Pyramid Head by painting him in a drunken rage before he came to Silent Hill. I am dead fucking serious. We get the drowning ending, which is just James with Mary's body driving into Toluca Lake. Just Mary died months ago, and her body is perfect fucking it's just perfectly fucking preserved somehow. And then suddenly, before that ending finishes, we get a fucking Mr. Sunderland. Mr. Sunderland, are you all right? And a fucking Mack truck comes right toward the car, while it's under fucking water. And all of a sudden, it's new game. We get the new game plus ending, where James gets to start all over. I'm assuming with all of his parts, his weapons, his flashlight, and the fucking moths that rose Mary to the fucking heavens. And he decides, you know what? Instead of taking Mary back to Silent Hill, where she was running away from, I think we're just gonna go to fucking Bram's. You know what? Let's go farther. What about that Raccoon City place we've been hearing about? That sounds better. We got 4 fucking endings in the movie. That was great. Like, the only thing going through my head was, I can't tell if this is a troll or not. Like, the only way this would have been better is we got a 5th ending at the end of the film, because I wasn't going to stay around for the fucking end credits. I wasn't going to stay all the way through the credits. If at the way end of the film, they got back to James's apartment in, like, the city, and it turned out he had a fucking dog, and it was playing, like, I don't know, Master Blaster or Castlevania on a fucking NES. That would have been the greatest. And then, like, right there on his phone, it was like it had the barking song from Silent Hill 2. That would have been the greatest thing ever. I would have died on the floor of the theater right there. I would have died with a smile on my face. They would have had no way to revive me, because I would have been dead. I would have died happy. CGI is still bad. The green screening is somehow worse, but the practical effects were great. Like, the practical effects were amazing. Like, as always, that's what Gans did better in the his movies than Anderson did with Resident Evil. Like, I thought that Nemesis looked terrible in Apocalypse, but that was something that Gans did better in his Silent Hill films than Anderson did in his Resident Evils. It was always the practical stuff. But at the same time, I feel like the green screening effects were just not as good as Anderson's stuff. Mostly because Anderson used a lot of practical sets. I think that's the problem with Silent Hill Return 2 in a nutshell. Like, you could have used the more moldy sets and not had to use those more like industrial sets. Like, that was the biggest upside. You could use a more like rotted cityscape and not have to use the industrial part. Like, that's one of the bigger things about it. That's why you can use the sets for, like, the 3 to 4 big areas: the apartments, the hospital, the prison slash historical society, and the hotel, because you could just do the outside parts with a normal, ordinary town. But by relying also on green screen, so you could do the outside parts and not just the insides, where you could just build sets, you kind of have to set yourself into a corner there. Also, I'm sorry I lost my fucking mind laughing. Good lord. But that brings me back to what I said earlier. Is this movie terrible, or is it brilliant? I don't know. Here's the thing. By the end of the film, everything clicked into place. But the problem is, I had to get to the end of the film for it all to click into place. I feel like if you're a Silent Hill 2 fan, you are either going to like this film a bit, or you are not going to like this at all. I went into this film with low expectations. I had those expectations all throughout the film, but then everything clicked into place at the when I got to the Lakeview. Everything clicked into place, and I can't tell if I like. And at that point, that's when I asked the question if it was terrible or brilliant, and that's really my biggest problem. Is it truly brilliant or is it truly terrible? And that is where I leave you people. The problem really becomes I can't tell if it's either. But I can tell you all that I did not hate the movie at the end. I liked it. And I would actually watch it again. Honestly, I think this movie has some great fun moments. There's some moments where the plot feels like you've missed 5 minutes and I just broke down laughing. There's moments where there's sudden cuts where and I just couldn't stop but laugh. There's moments that I actually was scared. It isn't a good sign when the trailers were scaring me more than the movie was. But at the end of the day, I can't say the movie was bad. I wasn't bored. I wasn't scared, but I wasn't bored. See, that's the problem with reviewing movies on this channel. If I wasn't bored, I can't say the movie's bad. Because in my world, if I felt like the time was wasted, then the movie is bad. The time was not wasted. Because by the end of the movie, I felt like I wasn't bored. And that, my friends, is how you know a movie is not bad. Because if you're not bored by the end of the film, your time is not wasted. If you felt like you had fun, then you definitely succeeded in having a fun time. And that's why I recommend this film. Because if you truly look into it, it could feel like an alternative reality to Silent Hill 2. As opposed to all the rest of the Paul W.S. Anderson films, where it feels like he was just doing fan fiction for his wife. That's the end of this review. I hope you all enjoyed this, as this was a very, very hard review to come by. Mostly because it was basically me trying to find the film to do at this point. Hope you all watch my other reviews. I hope you all come back. And I hope you all subscribe and watch my other stuff. I know I'm repeating myself. I'm a little nervous and my mouth is getting dry. So, like, subscribe, find the Mothra U-Tunes plush, wherever fine plushies are sold. And I think that's a bootleg Mothra I have up there. Otherwise, thank you all for coming, and I'll see you all next time.
Big Jim Slade. Big Jim, former tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, is outfitted with various whips, chains, and a sexual appetite that will knock your socks off. Big Jim has satisfied women throughout the world, and the capital of Nebraska is Lincoln.